Okay, so welcome to this week's call. My name's Jackie Boyle, and as always, I've got the honour of being able to host this call on behalf of Dr. Joseph Ahrens. And we like to try and bring topics to you that we can share the benefits of what flavonoids can support the body. And today's topic is going to be about understanding the gut-brain axis, which is I'm excited to hear as to where Dr. Ahrens is going to take this. But before we go any further, anything that you hear on today's call, we are not aiming to heal, cure, or mitigate anything. We are just merely providing information to you to take away and share with people. So if you are going to record this, please do not attach a product, a company, or a doctor or a formulator's name to it, please, because it would be non-compliant. So on that, I think I've covered everything for compliance. So how are you, Dr. Ahrens?
You know, I'm doing great. I'm now on the other side of the world. I'm over in your area. Been going around setting up some clinicals, talking to some other scientists, and I'm good to be here down under in Australia.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. We love Australia anyway. So Dr. Ahrens, today's call, we are talking about like the gut-brain axis. And I've been listening to you on different conversations that we've been having, like with professors and doctors and things this week, setting up these clinicals. And it's just been really interesting understanding this connection. You've come up with some new information too that you came across some research in February, I believe, to discuss about this gut-brain axis. And how flavonoids make. Did you want to talk or discuss this? Can you hear me or not?
Yeah, I can hear you. It is jumping around a little bit. Am I stable right now?
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, people know me as a flavonoid guy. Flavonoid are the colored parts of fruits and vegetables. Flavonoid actually in Latin means color, doesn't mean flavor. So all the colored parts of fruits and vegetables, and we're told to eat our fruits and vegetables, and the dark ones better than the lighter ones. Grapes are great. Beets, anything that has a dark color has a lot of flavonoids in them. Well, what in the world good are flavonoids? Well, that's what we've been going on a discovery in the last several years about flavonoids. And we found out over the years that a lot of disorders people have are related to problems with their immune system, which includes wound healing. It's not just poisons or viruses that can come and attack you, but anything to regulate the health of your body is the immune system. And when you do not have enough flavonoids, you're deficient in that, you end up with several disorders. It's not a direct cause and effect relationship. Lack of flavonoids do not cause disease. Lack of flavonoids, it causes your body to not have the natural molecules it needs to fight these things and to support your immune system. So I want to be clear about that. Flavonoids don't directly cause, lack of flavonoids don't directly cause disease. It's your body. It's all about your body. And if you were able to have a proper diet and get the flavonoids you need, your body would be fully supported in its immune system. And then you would have less of these disorders. You know, we have people say, oh, I had a lot of flavonoids and now I no longer have arthritis. That might be true, but it's not because the flavonoids stopped arthritis. The flavonoids support your body's immune system, and then your body is able to overcome those disorders. There's so many of them. There's so many disorders related to not having a functioning immune system. Not only do you get sick if your immune system isn't working and you succumb to more colds caused from viruses and other diseases caused by bacteria, but your body breaks down over time, and that's where things like arthritis come from. And if your immune and inflammatory systems are not properly managed and supported, you may get autoimmune diseases such as psoriasis. So it appears that flavonoids are affecting a wide range of disorders, but actually they're just supporting your immune system. And we call this, when you don't have enough, flavonoid deficiency syndrome. So syndrome is something that covers a broad range of things. Flavonoid deficiency syndrome, that's really a great term to use. And you ought to start talking about that amongst yourselves and to your family and to your friends. Flavonoid deficiency syndrome. Well, that's what I preached for last 10 years. And I found out that's only 10% of the whole picture. Really, the flavonoids that you eat, 10% of them are doing this thing. That's regulating sugar metabolism and supporting your immune system, helping your brain function. This is 10%. Direct impact, though, on flavonoids, regulating the enzymes in your body that then support your immune system and support good carbohydrate digestion and help your body maintain proper sugar levels. That's just 10%. So what is the other 90%? Recently, it's been discovered that the 90% of the flavonoids you eat go to feed the bacteria inside you. Now, I talked about this just a couple of weeks ago, and you're going to hear me talk more and more about it. I want it to be on the lips of every person. I actually want, when this little talk here is over, I wish everybody understood it enough that they could repeat it back to their friends and neighbors. It's very important. It's called the brain-gut axis, or some people flip it around and call it the gut-brain axis. It doesn't matter. Gut-brain axis, brain-gut axis. That means there's like a highway, a communication highway between your brain and your gut, brain and gut. There's a high information highway. The bacteria, the good bacteria in your gut, release chemicals and send signals to nerve endings that are all along your gut. Enteronervous system. That just means the one nerves surrounding your guts, that your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine, colon, that whole system has nerves coming down from the brain, and they're sitting there waiting to pick up these signals. And when the gut bacteria inside the biome, the probiotics, those are all the name for the same thing. Your gut bacteria, your biome, your probiotics, those are all the same. Those are synonyms. When they are happy and they're releasing chemicals that tell your brain, I'm happy, everything is okay. That's really the signal that these nerves are picking up. Hey, everything here is fine. We're getting the proper amount of stuff to eat, the right pH of things to eat, the right chemicals to eat, the right flavonoids to eat. And they send these signals to the brain, and the brain interprets that as, all right, everything's okay. There's no stress here. Everything's fine. When those bacteria are unhappy, use that human term, when they are dysfunctional, when they have the wrong food, when they've been interrupted, maybe even an invasion of other bacteria come in that shouldn't be there. When those bacteria, your happy gut bacteria, are not performing well, they're sad, they send out negative signals, and your brain interprets that as something is wrong. I've got to figure out what's wrong. It gets under stress, it starts sending out cortisol. And then that ends not only just into being nervous and stressed, that can trigger a lot of issues. If, for instance, you had autism, and that autism is managed properly, if you end up having these negative signals coming from your gut, you could start expressing autistic behavior. It could increase. If you have any disorder that you're prone to, and there's all types of things, you can just name all types of issues associated with the brain. It could be thinking correctly. It could be memory. It could be autistic behavior, Parkinson's disease, Huntington's disease, manic depressive behavior, just being depressed, having depression. Those then are triggered in the brain. It works the other way too. The brain is constantly sending signals to the gut and trying to say okay, what do you need? What do you need? So this is constantly going back and forth in this highway. So you need to maintain good gut biome, a happy gut biome. And we do this by taking probiotics. We eat things like yogurt. But natural foods, back when we didn't torture those foods, we ate a whole lot more raw foods coming out of the field and the garden. They had a lot of this bacteria on them, and that supported the bacteria inside, and we were happy and had a good relationship with our environment. As you know, that's not quite how it is. We eat processed foods, bacteria is eliminated. We look for alternative sources. We've heard about probiotics, which means the bacteria. We buy back those probiotics to consume. We try to take things like active yogurt that has probiotics in them, because we've learned that we need to have this good biome inside, but we don't get them naturally much anymore. Just like much of our food is processed and it's mostly free from bacteria. So we have to be very aware to maintain that healthy biome. I think everybody understands that now. Most people realize that you have to have a healthy gut bacteria. You have to have the right gut bacteria. There's around 10,000 of them, but 4 of them stand out a lot. And one of them is the Lactobacillus plantarum. That's one of the main ones. It's one of the ones that are most stable. That's the ones that you will usually find in when you take probiotics, either as a supplement or in something like yogurt. That's the one you'll find most often because it's very stable. It will withstand temperatures when you're cooking. It'll also withstand the digestive process as you swallow them and they go down into your gut. They'll work their way all the way down there. So a good healthy biome. I think people now understand it, but they forget. Whenever you take an antibiotic, you're killing them. Antibiotic kills all of the bacteria. It doesn't know if it's good or it's bad. So I know that some people here are right, and they've got to be sure when they get through with treating themselves or their doctors treating them, they've got to go back and reestablish that bacteria. And by itself, it can take months. And sometimes for some people, it can take over a year for that family to be reestablished. They help of them. You need to help reestablish that good biome inside you. And I suggest that you do take probiotics to get back on track. So we don't remember that often. So do that. Okay, so that's the good story. We have got this information highway going back and forth to be truly healthy. Not just digestion. I just said it's also mental capacity and mental performance, memory, issues such as autism. You've got to have that biome happy for that all to be regulated properly under control. And that is what we've recently understood just with tests on animals and humans. They find out when we disrupt that biome, we can have expression of these issues. Where do flavonoids fit in there? Flavonoids, when you eat them, 90% of them are broken down in the digestive system and they feed that bacteria, those bacteria. They are the preferred food source for that bacteria. We did not know this until just in the last couple of years. And as recently as February, as you pointed out, Jackie, some researchers found out how critical this is and the role that exercise plays in this. So we say, okay, you got to eat good, you exercise. It sounds great, but exercise actually helps break down those flavonoids and turn them into the food preferred by the bacteria. That is pretty new. So I'll say it again, eat properly, have a good diet, exercise. Even a little bit of exercise helps. So 90% of these flavonoids go to the bacteria. And we call the food for bacteria, we call it a prebiotic. So that's where you get these two words. Am I still stable? Because it's jumping around on my screen. Just say yes or no. Am I still stable? Okay. So flavonoids are necessary not just to directly manage your immune system, to help with carbohydrate digestion, to help you maintain a healthy blood sugar level. Those are direct effects, but they are the food for the bacteria in your body. They are the prebiotic for the probiotic. I didn't know, I didn't design those words. Some other people came up with those. I know they're confusing to people. Probiotic. They're actually the biome. We should just, I think people don't like to call them bacteria. So they say, okay, they're probiotic. And their food, ahead of that, the food is the prebiotic, probiotic, food, bacteria. Flavonoids are the food, the preferred food for that bacteria. And when you feed them enough flavonoids, what happens? Well, they're happy and they send the good signals, happy signals, back up to your brain, and they tell your brain is okay. Your brain therefore does not produce stress hormones such as cortisol, and your body is entirely functioning better. So I'm going to go over those steps again because you can't say it too many times. I wish everybody here on this call now could repeat this back to me. Jackie, I'm going to ask you when this is over to give me a 2-sentence recap of what I said. Flavonoids have a direct impact on several systems, including your carbohydrate digestion and including supporting your immune system. That's just a small part of it now, we know. Other 90% go to feeding the good bacteria in your gut. And the good gut are called probiotics. The good gut bacteria are the probiotics. If they're functioning and they're healthy, they send positive signals to your brain, and your brain therefore says everything is okay. There's less stress and there's less expression of all these issues having to do with your neurotic function. That's why this is so important. We need to maintain a good gut-brain axis. Keep way going with the proper signals. We do that by making sure your biome are present and that they're fed properly. They are fed properly from flavonoids, and that is the main function of flavonoids in your body. So it becomes part of this flavonoid deficiency syndrome. If you don't have enough flavonoids in your body, not only will you not have good carbohydrate digestion, not only will your immune system not be supported properly, but your biomes will fail. So that is my story. I'm sticking to it. Give me back a recap in 30 seconds.
I'm now feeling stress. Oh, why do you do this to me? Oh my goodness, it's not very often that I get tongue-tied. The way I actually see it, Dr. Ahrens, from what you've explained to us, that there is that real connection between the gut and the brain axis, and that when we start looking at these systems and these several systems of how we can support it through the carbohydrate and the immune system itself, that by fueling it through good flavonoid choices, exercise, it's a whole lifestyle system that we're trying to support, that we're trying to alleviate the stress levels in the body and try to intervene in that highway that's happening between the brain and the gut. And by being able to slow the highway down in the stress levels would be the way that I would try and explain it to somebody in layman terms, is what we're trying to do. We're trying to intervene between that link as to what we can see in that picture behind me, that we want to try and intervene, and we can do that by limiting the stress through the flavonoids that we provide the body, through the choices of carbohydrates, through the supporting the immune system. Hopefully I've provided that, and by supporting the probiotics, the good probiotics in the gut itself.
Well, you need to practice.
I know, I've got to get given this sack. Good grief. I told you I was feeling a little bit stressed. I will get,
Okay.
sorry guys, I will get better.
Yes,
put Dr.
everybody
Ron,
should.
put Dr. Ron on the spot. Dr. Ron, do you want to unmute yourself and you can give us a whirl?
Well, I'll tell you, what we need is balance in our bodies. And when we have the proper amount of flavonoids in the body, we're going to have that balance, eating the correct diet. We're going to have a good, healthy immune system, which is controlled primarily by a good gut connection and the probiotics and the prebiotics that make that all happen to be in homeostasis.
All right, that's a simple story there. So you need flavonoids because of the direct connection, the direct impact on your carbohydrates and your sugar metabolism and your immune system. You need that. And you need them, more importantly, to serve as a food for the bacteria in your gut. When your gut are happy, it sends positive signals down that highway between the brain and the gut. And your brain interprets that everything is okay. When you, as Dr. Ron said, when you disrupt that balance, that smooth balance, and you don't have enough bacteria or you don't have enough flavonoids, you disrupt that balance and you're sending negative signals between the brain and the gut. And then that's when things go haywire. That's when you have expression of these neurologic issues. So maintain a good healthy gut bacteria. You have to have them there to begin with. Feed them properly with flavonoids. You'll maintain and come to that balance you need in your body.
You know, Dr. Ahrens, what I will weigh in on for us normal people, well, I'm normal, what I will say from my own perspective is that what has been noted for myself is that there is a huge connection in what we eat. I have a super sensitive system, and the slightest of changes in food that I do have, I have a reaction to it. So it's very evident to me that what I'm fueling my body with good probiotics, with good flavonoids, that the bacteria in my system is very poor. And then therefore I do have these, what I will say, like a spike in the difference on how my body responds. And it doesn't take much in what I eat. So, but what I have found over the years, I'm no longer taking antibiotics on a daily basis as to what I was for 50 years beforehand. It was every single day of my life. So being able to introduce flavonoids to support that gut health has made a huge difference, that I can manage life better in all other aspects. But you can certainly notice a difference in your food choices. Alcohol as well, it's one of the big triggers because it's loaded with sugar. It has a really adverse effect on my system and maybe on others as well. And I'm just really grateful that we have the flavonoids and we've got a gut health option there as well to be able to support that with, because it certainly makes a huge difference to be able to stay on top and try and keep that body in homeostasis as much as possible. So I am really grateful. I really note that, and it's noted by how my body responds, and it responds rapidly and not always in a good way through my food choices. So what we eat really does matter. I don't know if others have noticed that.
Well, I'm glad to deliver this to this group, and I hope they are evangelists and spread it throughout the world.
Yeah. So has anybody got anything that they would like to ask, like to unmute yourself? We've got about 5 minutes here before we wrap it up. Please unmute yourself if you've got a question. Otherwise, we'll keep this as a clean recording, and I hope that you've got something out of it and you understand. If you want, I'll ask Dr. Ahrens to provide the link to the research that he's talking about, because I think it would be really beneficial to have Dr. Ahrens to put into the Facebook group for where you've found that information on the study recently on the gut-brain axis, because the more information that we can provide to people, the more that they can actually lean into us and understand what we're trying to tell them just doesn't come from something that we believe in. There's a lot of research behind it, and it's not just through Dr. Ahrens. And this is the great thing about how you present things, Dr. Ahrens, is that you have your own personal belief, but you go and research and find out what other scientists have spent years on come to that conclusion. So it's not just your opinion, it's other scientists that have put it together. And I think this is what makes this platform so powerful for us to use, because it's not just one person's opinion. We've got a global opinion there on people that you respect and you share with us. So I'll ask him to provide that to me so we can get that into that Facebook group as well. So has anyone got any questions that they want to ask in particular? We must have answered everything. Okay, all right. Well, I want to thank you, Dr. Ahrens, because I learn, and I have to go home and do some homework. Well, I am home. I need to do some homework and get my 30-second spiel a little bit better than what it was, because it was very dodgy. So I will get better, but I do want to thank each and every one of you for showing up each week. Thank you so much to Dr. Ahrens. I'm excited for where we're heading, what's happening for us going forward. And also try and join us next week, because it is on blood sugar. So there's lots of areas there that I know people want to be able to share in that space. So I look forward to seeing you then. I want to thank you so much and have a great weekend. And I hope that going forward, if you've got any questions, just please make sure you reach out to us and ask us. So again, thank you, Dr. Ahrens, and we look forward to seeing you next week.